Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Jets and 26-0. All right. What do you say after that, right? Like what do you say? Well, I'm going to tell you what I have to say. This video is not even going to be the least bit analytical because there's going to be some talk of statistics and such, but we'll get to that in a bit. So, start my day, right? I just want to walk you guys through my day from start to finish, right? So I get up early because I know I'm going to be horribly unproductive the entirety of the afternoon. So I get up early, right? I get up early, go to the gym. You know, the mornings that you just feel good, right? Like the alarm goes off and the first couple of like beeps, you just immediately turn it off and you don't feel the least bit tired. You just roll out of bed, you're ready to go, ripping and ready to go. I felt like that. It was awesome. And then, last night, laid out all my stuff. So I had all my gym clothes ready. I just had to walk in my bathroom and get dressed. Boom, done, out the door, right? Pretty nice out. Beautiful day today in Florida where I live. Beautiful day. And I realized my gym doesn't open until an hour later than I thought it did. And at first I'm like, kind of a bummer. But then, upside, I got to run down to the river, right? See the sunrise. A beautiful sunrise, right? There was a nice little area where you could go stand on some rocks near the river and just watch the sunrise. And it was gorgeous. It was beautiful, right? Get done with that. Get to the gym. I'm like the third or fourth person in there. So it's completely empty. Just a nice, calm morning, right? No shoving machine, super quiet. Just a really great workout. Get done there. I get back home. I'm showered. I'm dressed. I'm ready to go. Like, way ahead of schedule, right? I have breakfast and everything, and usually I get done with everything and can usually get to church just about on time. But today, I was running extremely early, so I got to treat myself and go get myself a cup of cold brew coffee. Awesome, right? Great start to the morning. Get out of church a little bit earlier, shorter message and what have you. Get out early, go pick myself up some lunch, and I had saved up some rewards points and got a free sub, right? Everything's looking great. Get to the grocery store. Red Bull's on sale. Everything is coming up Weston today. And then at about 3 o'clock, the entire day started to shift. Because I just had that feeling of dread. Just like that uneasy, dreadful feeling that you get when when you have to go do something that kind of sucks. And I started to get that right about 3:15. And I realized about 3:45 when I was leaving my house to go up to my nearby sports restaurant to go watch the game, and I realized, Weston, that feeling of dread is because you have to go watch the New York Jets play football. And I call it a feeling of dread, and what I should have called it is an intuition. Yeah, so 26-0 is a score that you really can't take anything too positive from. Like, it's just... The defensive line looked solid. They did good. They did a good job with the run game. Quite a few tackles for loss. Pressured Teddy Bridgewater a bit. Every Jets quarterback is getting their revenge on the Jets all of a sudden. Quentin Williams had 2 sacks today. That was awesome. He looked solid. That's all I got. The play calling is bad. I'm not a fan of it. It's just kind of rough. Our safeties are not great. Our corners are not great. The coverage just in general is bad. You can't really... Most of the time, you're really not putting that much pressure on the quarterback. Occasionally, you get some, but most of the time, he's just sort of sitting there being able to surgically tear apart your defense because the corners can't cover anything. The offensive line is awful. The running game is mediocre at best. The receivers can't catch anything. And Zach Wilson continues to struggle. There were just so many underthrown balls today. And then the occasional time where he would just deliver it perfectly, right? It would be right in their chest, hit both of their hands. There were like 4 or 5 drops today on balls that hit receivers directly in, not one hand, not outstretched, perfectly. Like, there's no reason these shouldn't have been caught. The second interception was a ball like that. There were a few others that were just horrible, right? There were more than a few first downs that were just dropped. And it's just so frustrating. Because a lot of the time, right, quite a few times, Zach Wilson, under pressure, or just a bad throw in general, right, he struggled again today. And the times that he didn't struggle and actually did really great, like, threw a great football, couldn't catch it. I don't know what to say. Like, it's just... Like, last week, I got to make the loud, screamy, yelly grr video for the Jets, right? I got to be very upset, and it was kind of funny, right? I got to at least I got to have fun with it, right? Because it's kind of fun to scream and let your aggression out. It's fun to do that from time to time. And so I enjoyed making that video. It was fun and neat to do, and I thought it was funny. There's nothing like that today. There's no jokes to make. There's no... I wasn't even upset because I knew we were going to lose going into the game. I'm so depressed as a Jets fan at this point. I'm not even trash talking. A friend of mine messaged me earlier in the week, just the friendly, nudge nudge football banter of just Jets are, he's a Broncos fan. It's Broncos are going to, completely light up the Jets this weekend. I'm like, yeah, they are. I'm not even defending it anymore. I'm just in agreement with them. Yeah, Broncos are going to freaking destroy us this week. I agree. I agree with these people. I'm not even arguing anymore. And it sucks. I don't have the will to argue for this team because they're just blah. They're just at least last week there was a bit of fight. Wilson clearly wanted to win. He did his best. Braxton Berrios again showed fire. But Corey Davis just today had hands of stone. Elijah Moore had a decent day. He had a few receptions. Jeff Smith. The pick that bounced off both of his hands. It hit him perfectly. And it's just a bummer of a game, man. I'm just... I hate to just sound such a hippie. I grant that I have the hair for it and the fashion sense for being a hippie, but it's just I'm bummed out. That's the only way to put it. And I kind of alluded to it earlier in the video, but it was beautiful today outside. It was a gorgeous day. It was maybe 80 degrees, I'd say, to no humidity, a breeze. It was just gorgeous outside. You loved it. It was beautiful. And I felt this way a lot because I've been watching the Jets for a very long while, every single Sunday, and today was another example of it. You sit in the restaurant, and the way it's set up, it's back towards the west and face towards the east. So 4 o'clock games that usually end around 7, it's the sunset. And I look outside at the golf course across the street that's got a ton of trees, and towards the end of games that are around, 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock or even 5 o'clock during sometimes when it gets darker early, you just see the beautiful, sunset, orange fade kissed trees with that, just a little bit of breeze gently rocking them and the cotton candy clouds. And I'm just why am I doing this to myself? Why do I come in here to watch the Jets when I could be out doing things that are fun? I'm watching this team just disappoint me. And I just want them to be good. I want to emphasize, when I say good, I don't mean Super Bowl appearance or, AFC title game appearance. Watchable. I just want to see an offense that's interesting, right? A team that can put up 20 points and that not be the complete exception to the rule. A team that might, win 9 games in a season, which at this point we'd have to go 9-5 down the stretch to get to that point. And that ain't happening. And it just kind of is a bummer. I'm not asking for the world. I just want a team that's interesting. And you watch games like this that just completely they take it out of you. Because, I'm not even mad. I'm just bummed. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm just tired of watching a team completely wet the bed every week. We haven't had a Super Bowl appearance in a franchise since 50 years ago, 50 plus years. It's been over half a century. We haven't made a title game in over a decade. The last time the Jets were even in the playoffs, for reference, if you want to time it out, right? Obama was in his first term. And if you want to get technical about it, realistically, since you usually don't start to campaign until your second or till about this, the second half of a term, right? So 2 years in, realistically, he might not have actually started to campaign for his second term at the time, because that would have been January of 2011 was the last time the Jets were in the playoffs. So realistically, that's 2 years in. He might not have been campaigning for his second term as president at that time. That was the last time the Jets made the playoffs. We haven't been 500 since 2015. Since then, we were 4-12, or 5-11, 5-11, 4-12, 7-9, 2-14, and now an 0-3 start. And 3 games that they have not particularly looked great in. And it just... The only expression I can say I feel is tired. That's the only thing I feel. Not angry or ticked or mad. I'm just... tired is the only way to describe it. It's probably, not to sound too pessimistic, it's not going to get better next week because we bring the Titans back to New York. Tennessee comes here, and they are a very, very good football team. And we're probably going to get ran over by Derrick Henry. Which I guess the positive of that is I have him in fantasy, so there's that at least. And I want to emphasize something because I just want to make sure this is abundantly clear, because a lot of Jets fans are getting there and it's just ridiculous. I'm not out on Zach Wilson, I'm not out on Joe Douglas, and I'm not out on Robert Saleh. I'm still in on all of them. I still believe they are the future. We just have to give them time. So I just want to emphasize that because I know a lot of Jets fans have already thrown in the towel on this regime and Zach Wilson. And that is redonkulous. Grow up and understand the sport. I'm not out. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed that they haven't even looked decent to this point. But I still believe that Zach Wilson is the franchise quarterback because he does the intangibles just so well, right? He has good pocket awareness. There was a play today that I thought was fantastic, right? I think it was Von Miller came up behind him, like completely blindside, hits him right on like the forearm where you're told to hit to jar the ball loose, and he held on to it. Like, he does things well. And there were a lot of passes that were dead on the money that were just dropped. Or times where he was throwing on the run and it hit receivers where they could have easily caught it and they just didn't. So, like, I still 100% believe in this kid. It's got to give him time. But I'm not talking about a game that happens 3 years from now or a year from now. I'm talking about a game that happened today. And today's game was a stinker. So hopefully, I'll be back in not too long to talk about a hopefully Astros win. It's tied 3-3 in the 9th right now. That'd be nice to talk about a win. Anyway, that's all I have to say for the evening. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go Jets.